What up, y'all? It's your man Abuamerican. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. It's been a minute. Haven't done a live stream. Can you guys hear me? Can I get a one in the chat if you can hear me? Actually, I didn't even check this thing. I've been so out of whack with live streams. Let me check the audio. Audio's working actually. There we go. Been a long time. Been offline. Been busy. Finished my book and all that type of stuff, and just working. Got some other stuff going on. Got some more projects going on. But I said that inshallah, will come back to doing live streams, especially the Even Phillip show, since people always have all sorts of questions. Wow, and there we go, coming right in with the questions. I thought I was going to have to carry into a topic until the questions started coming in, but we got the first one already from Honor. What should be discussed in a first marriage meeting, and how should you conduct yourself? Well, I'm always one for marriage meetings to act like who you are. I don't, everybody wants to put their best foot forward, but I also don't think you should be deceptive, obviously. I don't think you should hide who your character is, because that's going to be deceptive, and if it comes out later that you're like, you're a horrible person and you didn't act like a horrible person in the meeting, don't act like a horrible person. Just don't be a horrible person. But, be yourself, be natural, not that whole, bad relationship advice, just be yourself, but be yourself in terms of the people know what they're getting. I'm very forward with who I am. I'll speak from my personal experiences and the way I am. I'm very forward, who I am, what I am, how I am, what I expect in terms of my future potential wife, in terms of traditional gender roles that I don't expect her to work. And if she does work, she works for me from home. My expectations on children. Focus this camera. I'm gonna replace this camera. It's got scratched up and I don't know how to fix the scratches. You can see the fogginess down here. So yeah, this type of stuff. So what I talk about is basically basic expectations, just so we don't waste time, because you don't want to go in there and then hide what you expect from a relationship, and you want to make sure that you two have synergy in terms of what synergy. I'm using this loosely, not the hooty shirky way, but you have congruency, let's use that, it's a better word, in terms of what you both are looking for, that you both have shared values, virtues, morals, and ethics, and that you're both trying to go the same direction, so that you don't have two people pulling a different direction in one relationship, because relationships are already going to be difficult as it is. And so if you both have different ideas on how the foundation of the relationship is going to function, then why do 2, 3, 4 meetings, and then later on in meeting number 4 you wasted all that time, and it turns out, oh, she doesn't want kids. Oh, she wants to go be Miss Office career chick or whatever else, So in the first meeting, I tend to establish what my expectations are, because failed expectations are probably the number one thing that ruins relationships. How do you deal with porn addiction as a teenager? I was going to make a video about this, actually. I was going to do a whole video about this, but I guess I'll go ahead and shoot it now. I'll give you a condensed version of this, since we got other questions to get to. Now, I don't have a porn addiction. I haven't been addicted to porn. I know I get this question a lot. But I have dealt with addiction in terms of caffeine. Now, I know that's obviously very different things, but it is an addiction nonetheless. Don't let anybody convince you that caffeine addiction isn't something difficult. And just to give you an idea, I quit caffeine twice. I quit again like 2 weeks ago. I started drinking coffee again. So I quit before, just after Ramadan, I think it was. Yeah, just after Ramadan, I think I quit coffee, or maybe it was just before Ramadan, whatever the case may be. I went through the entire withdrawal symptoms, everything, the irritability, the stress, headaches like crazy, just sluggishness. Everything about me changed physically, and none of it was positive. I didn't like any of it, what I saw. Then I actually experienced it again, because just recently, everybody in the crews that I'm working with and everything, there's always coffee everywhere. Everybody's giving me coffee. So I just started slamming coffees again. I was like, yo, this is bad, because my sleep was getting thrown off again, because I finally got used to non-caffeinated sleep, and it is different, guys. So I start drinking again the coffee, and I start, I said, I gotta stop this. I get the headaches, I get the withdrawals, I get all this stuff, just really terrible sluggishness, and what it all boils down to is it really, and I know this is going to be an oversimplification, and a lot of guys are going to be like, yo, that's too simple, Abuamerican, but it really is. It's about willpower and how bad you really want it. If you really want to quit something, you will quit it. And you'll have to fight yourself, and it's going to be difficult. Now, porn addiction probably is not going to give you headaches and, have like a physical, it will probably have an emotional, mental, psychological effect on you, breaking that habit, but it's something you're just going to have to go through. There's no easy ticket for any sort of addiction and breaking it. You know, if you have to struggle with caffeine, you have to imagine that the addiction is similar to a caffeine addiction. The porn addiction will be similar. And so some way or another, the effects of that addiction, I keep hearing something like playing in the background. It's like, it's driving me crazy. It's not my phone. Anyway, that it's driving me crazy. That addiction is going to have some sort of knockoff effect on you that's going to draw you or want to draw you back in. So you're just gonna have to power through it, man. There's no other way. You know, you're gonna have to come up with something else to fill the gaps in the times to where, like, an individual, because there has to be some sort of specific time. A person, you know, I mean, an addiction is pretty bad, but you know, the person's probably like surfing porn when they're bored or they have an empty slot in their day. You're gonna have to fill those slots in your days with something else. For me, filling the caffeine had to come with like something else, like push-ups, you know, time on the bag, whatever else. I had to fill it with something else, or just, to be honest, outright sleep sometimes, because sometimes the headaches were just so severe, I just had to go to sleep just so I wouldn't go up and grab like a cup of coffee or energy drink, which was, you know, a replacement for the caffeine, because it has caffeine in it also. So with your porn addiction, although I haven't experiences, I'm gonna have to assume that it's gonna be something similar. You're just gonna have to have the willpower and then distractions away from that to form new habits until your body sort of like detoxes from whatever you're addicted to, be it pornography, cigarettes, alcohol, male protect us all from whatever vices that, you know, the people suffer from. I mean, it's just, I don't think there's an easy way out of it. There's no easy ticket out of it. You know, if there was an injection I could tell you to take, I'd say, yo, go get Zepra antiporphanane, and I made that up, and inject it and you'll be cured of porn tomorrow. I'd tell you if I knew something, but I don't think there's any other way. Just like that porn addiction didn't start overnight, it's not going to go away overnight. And it's easy to start and it's hard to stop. So you're just going to have to power through it and form new habits. And whatever it is, wherever that window is that, you know, you're constantly like doing your addiction. For me, it was the morning caffeine, because that's what I knew was the caffeine again, because when I stopped drinking the caffeine, the headaches would pop up at that time. As my body saying, get that caffeine, dude. You know, and it was really like, okay, maybe I need to go get a cup of coffee, and, you know, so I could function throughout the day. I just functioned and just went straight through it. You're gonna have to do the same thing with your porn addiction. You're gonna have to find out those times when that draw is coming, and you're gonna have to find something else to go to. And it's gonna be difficult. It's not gonna be easy. If it's anything like caffeine, and I'm sure it is, I'm probably worse, because there's nothing physical to like actually put your hands on and drink. It's just like a pure emotional, psychological dopamine pull. You're gonna have to work on it, and you're gonna have to be strong, bro. There's no way around it. There's no easy ticket on this. May Allah make it easy on you and everybody else who deal with this. I mean, and I get the question so much. Like I said, I was gonna make a video about it. I'll probably still do it anyway. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to everybody coming in, giving the salams. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What make someone high quality man? What can, or what does, or what makes someone a high quality man? Man, your grammar, bro. Barakallahu feek. We've talked about this like a billion times. You know, just be a man on your mission. Have your goals aligned straight. You know, take care of yourself in terms of your first and foremost as Muslims, your iman, then your physicality, your finances. Probably switch that around. Your finances, your physicality, make those equal. Actually, you know, your physicality, your finances, confidence, competence, and get some traveling, because that helps everything else. Do a combat sport. That's going to help with your confidence. You know, one of the problems with the high value man idea is it's too much attached. It's too closely attached to what women like. But at the same time, it is a kind of a measure. And so generally, when we're looking at like high quality men, we're looking at like the attraction markers for women. But you have to keep this separate. You have to be outcome independent. What's very important is being outcome independent. You just want to build yourself because you want to be the best possible you that you could be at all times, anytime. And so building yourself mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, you know, and all the other associated fields around that will make you high quality. And then obviously, you know, in the part where it comes down to attracting women, that's going to come automatically. That's going to come naturally, like the whole build it and they will come type of thing. You know, women are going to spot that and they're going to go for it. But make sure you're doing that independent of women, because what happens is a lot of times we see this in women in specific. What'll happen is a woman will get into a relationship, she'll get relaxed and just start just smashing donuts and whatever else the women love eating, you know, and then they'll blow up and they'll get fat. And then when their man gets tired of that, because that's not the woman he married, she got comfortable. That's not the woman he married. He starts looking for something else. When they break up, she like starts getting back in shape, working out like a madman and all this stuff. The stuff she should have been doing in a relationship, because what she was doing to get a man is not the same thing as what it takes to keep one. And for you as a man, the same applies. So what you do to be high quality and high value shouldn't be associated and attached to a woman. I mean, I know you didn't say that in your question, but I'm just a general, statement. So the same thing applies, because a lot of times what happens is if you attach it to a woman, you get that woman and then you just sort of let go because, oh man, I finally got the girl. Same thing starts to happen. You start letting go of yourself, your missions, your goals. You make her the focus of your life instead of an accompaniment to it, a complement to your life. And then she falls out of attraction because her attraction markers are different. And so make sure what you're doing is a lifestyle. It's not just to get the girl. It's who and what you are. And that's why I started with Iman, with your Islam first. Start with that first. Make sure it's part of who and what you are. Inshallah. Women in my college think I'm arrogant, sadist, and masochistic because I don't talk unnecessarily and stay reserved. What's your view on my situation? I don't know. Are you arrogant, sadist, and a masochist? Maybe they're right. I don't know, bro. I don't know you. I mean, if you're being stoic and they don't understand that, if you're a naturally stoic person, then that's what the thing. Maybe they're, if you're not those things and you're a stoic and you're like, and you're an introvert, I think is the term. It is the term. That's their problem, man. Maybe they find you attractive and they want to talk to you, and now because you're not interested in talking to them, they want to shame you. They use social shame to try and get you to be something that they need and they want. Because a lot of times when it comes down to women in shaming language, it's a matter of shaming you into being something that they want or need you to be. This is why, women come with that whole, the guys who don't marry single women are boys. They're not real men. Yeah. They say that because they need a guy to marry them. And so since guys aren't really out there aiming and shooting for them like that, they want to shame guys into saying, oh, well, you're a boy and not a real man if you don't go for the single mothers. It might be the same thing that's playing out here. I'm stroking your ego because I don't know you. So I'm just being good to you, homie, but be introspective. If guys aren't saying it, then there's obviously, something amiss here. If guys are saying, hey, you're a cool dude and you're chilling, whatever else, and the women are saying this, then obviously there's a conflict. There's a lack of congruency between men and women and what they, perceive from you. And so you need to look at what's the reality in terms of yourself. But if there's some sort of, character fault, and I think we all have them, and, someone points it out, it's like blatantly obvious, and people point it out to you, maybe you take it into consideration, maybe, inshallah. I mean, I got my ways. I'm rude online, and people tell me all the time you're rude online. I take it into consideration because it's true. Because sometimes I'm rude online. So it might be something similar. But if it's a bunch of women saying it, it's probably not the case. Generally their shaming language is something else. Is it true that weightlifting stunts growth as a teen? Allahu alam. I wish I could tell you that one. I don't know. I've seen all sorts of stuff on it, and none of it makes sense to me. I mean, one says this, one says that, one says this, the other. Why not drink decaf coffee? I've done it. I'm not opposed to it. It's just the general smell and all that type of stuff. It makes it too easy. It's sort of like what do you call it? It's like a gateway drug, I guess you could say. It's too close to what you really want, which is the real deal. So it's just better to stay away from it altogether, so you don't have that draw into it. It's sort of like a person who's trying to come off drugs, and it's like, well, why don't you take weed instead of cocaine, buddy? You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's a bad comparison. Yeah, that's a bad comparison. But you get what I'm saying. It's like, don't take some, lame substitute for something that you really want. Just walk away from it altogether. If you find that it has a negative outcome on you. And me, in terms of me and the negative outcomes in caffeine it's the sleep. Yeah. Ashwagandha. I hear about this stuff all the time. I mean, this stuff is apparently good. I can't pronounce it. I'll sound like a crazy guy. Ashwagandha. That sounds like something I heard before. Ashwagandha. I'm gonna call it Ashwagandha. Ashwagandha. Ashwagandha herb makes it easy for someone to overcome pornography addiction. Allahu alam, I don't know about that. Try it. Look it up, Google it, see what other people say, and give it a try. If it works, it works. Hey, try anything, man. If it'll help you break something. I mean, I know that herb has like a lot of positive effects on the human body. I've read a lot about it. I mean a lot about it in terms of like general terms, and when people are saying, hey, take this, it works, it works, it does, it works for this, it works for that. There's got to be something good about it. So give it a try.
You tried now ashwagandha.
Yeah, I know. You give me some ashwagandha. What's that ashwagandha do? Ashwagandha. Wakanda. I really found it. Oh, sorry. Let me put this up here. I really have found that grounding in the morning and night helps a ton with sleeping and stress. Do you ground? I don't know what grounding is. Oh, sorry, man. No, I don't. Ashwagandha. I'm saying ashwagandha from here out, guys. It restores the libido and helps overcome urges to watch porn. Pretty good stuff. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How do you play the numbers game in a halal way? You know, there's really not a way to do it. I mean, the only way is to put out like a bunch of leads in your social circles. Is to put out a bunch of leads in your social circles, and then, you know, have those people follow through with those leads. You know, otherwise there's not really a permissible way to do it, as far as I know. These apps and all this type of stuff, guys, I use them. Wallahi, I don't find them good. They're cancer. I use them because I'm in the bush in Germany. I don't have a social circle. I mean, I do, but you know, I just don't, I don't turn to my brothers whatnot. I tend to do stuff myself. You know, this thing, man, loves me, and I use those apps, man. But yeah, Allahu Akbar, I'm ready to just throw in the towel on those things, man. They're just absolute cancer. They're really just so I wouldn't really use those. I mean, I use them, and so I'm not gonna tell you to not to do something that I'm doing myself, but I advise against them. You know, I'm not even on there actively. Literally, the next woman I match with, she can literally, you know, I can literally tell her, literally, like, I swiped right on you while I was on the toilet. You know, while I was handling my business on the toilet, I had a heavy protein day, and you know, I was sitting. Because I don't want to give that stuff time in my life. It's really just, it's cancerous. Really, the only way to play a numbers game amongst the Muslims is with those matrimonial apps, and the ulama have spoken poorly about them, and I don't really feel too positively about them despite using them. The only way you're going to do it in a halal way is, like I said, use your social circles. Me and a brother did this in London. I'll give you an example. Me and a brother, we went together. We went from masjid to masjid. We pulled out that masjid app, you know, and we just went from masjid to masjid and just put our names down wherever masjids were doing matrimonial services. That's one way you could sprint that. But what came back? Only one came back for me. I went to about probably like 30 masjids. One lead came back. I married her. So that brother got no leads to come back. So that's the problem, you know, with that. And that's why apps have become so popular, because communities are not actively helping people get married. They say, hey, we offer the service, and then you pay a service sometimes, and you never hear anything from anyone again. So it just feels like a money collection for, like, just, why don't you just say you needed sadaqah instead of taking my money and telling me you was going to do something for me? You know, we got a $20 super chat. Let me find this, inshallah. $20 super chat from GZ. Barakallahu feek. Do you agree with Mahdi's view that red pill is only a praxology? I realize I started seeing Islamic gender dynamics through red pill principles, but it should be the other way around because Islam is the truth. You know, Mahdi is obviously a very close brother to me. I love the brother. You know, I love him. I had this conversation kind of passively with Rolo on Twitter also, and you know, we were going back and forth trading ideas. They say it's a praxology. I believe it's an ideology. I think it's both, actually. It's partial ideology, it's partial praxology. If it wasn't an ideology, then I wouldn't have come up with the term red pill rot. I wouldn't have come up with it. And what we see is, really, we see that red pill rot is real. It's undeniable that red pill rot is real. That too much time inside the red pill community can damage an individual's morals and ethics. Without question, I've seen it. I've watched it real time. Guys come in, you know, with this very positive mentality. I want to learn. I want to get this. I want to get the girl of my dreams. I want to be better. This, that, that. He comes out and all he's doing is going around slaying women. You know what I'm talking about. And then he starts having very negative ideas and concepts about women in general. You know, that they're all bad. They're all whores. They're all this. They're all that. I can never love a woman because they'll always cheat on me, because he's been going around messing with women who've been cheating. You know, yeah. And then what happens is a lot of guys, they get what they want out of red pill. Usually it's PUA stuff, pickup artist stuff, how to pick up women. And then, you know, Although I don't think the effects of multiple sexual partners on a man are as pronounced as women. I think after a time, it's different. Women, they can't pair bond. Men, they end up not being able to pair bond because they become despondent and depressed and like, just black pilled, really. Now, it doesn't happen to all men, obviously. But if it wasn't an ideology, that wouldn't happen to people. I mean, excuse me, if it was only a praxology, then that wouldn't happen to people. People would just take it like, the pure information, what it is, how to utilize it, and then you'd only get positive effects out of your life. And a lot of these guys, they don't see that there's negative effects in their lives from what they're practicing. They're just like, oh yeah, I got what I wanted. But then they don't see how their perspective on women has changed, their goals in terms of what they came into the red pill scene, how it's changed, because they're living it real time. They're in the picture and they're not looking at the picture from afar like we are, and then they don't see how that's affected their long-term mentality in general in life. Because let's be real, most men want women in their life. And when you start having like a negative perspective on women, where do we find that in Islam? I mean, yes, we have some statements about women. They do crazy stuff. The vast majority of the inhabitants of the fire are women. And, the vast majority of the followers of the Dajjal will be women and things like this. Or like, I don't think the vast majority of the women will be followers of the Dajjal. But what was it that a man would have to tie up his women, so that they wouldn't chase after to follow the Dajjal? All this stuff. So we have stuff like this, but it's not like so like hammer hard, like just constantly like she's going to cheat. She's monkey branching. She's this, she's that. She's hypergaming you to death. Homie, it's just constant nailing guys. And I don't know why dudes are obsessed with the negativity and everything. You take everything with a grain of salt. You'll see guys go on like, I got some TikTok videos from guys out here raising whole wolves in their house, dogs in it, not a dog, wolves in his face, like growling teeth out, whatever else. But he understands the wolf. He understands the dangers associated with the wolf. And so it's the same thing with us as men. Understand the dangers, but don't let it obsess you, and this is what happens to a lot of guys that go into red pill. If it was only a praxology, we wouldn't find this mentality happening to guys. They obsess over the danger, and then nothing else but the danger comes out of it. And then it's just a negative mentality. Women have to do the same thing with men generally. Is he an abuser? Is he a rapist? Is he a killer? Is he a this? Is he a that? We have to think the same way about women. And then we go forward. But does that stop women from looking for guys? Obviously not. The women are quite successful with getting guys because it's easy for them. It's not easy for us. But at the same time, this is why I came up with the whole vetting guide, so that you have a foundation to look at like the red flags for women. And then you can go out and find the woman that you want to find. And so coming back to my statement yet again, if red pill was only a praxology, why would we see this happening? This little fuzzle thing loves me. What the? Hey, homie, go away. What? So yeah, I hope that answered your question. I think I answered it, but yeah, I don't think it's only a praxology. I think it's an ideology and a praxology. That's what I believe. It's some of both, and the outcomes are solely dependent on you as an individual. If you have your foundation in Islam and you put your foundation as Islam first, you shouldn't have a problem, inshallah. But again, don't get it reversed, like you said. Don't get it reversed and you should be okay. But if you find yourself getting reversed, then man, just, walk away from it a while and, come back to it. Because I still use red pill principles, even though I've kind of, backed away from the whole red pill scene. The principles are true. They're solid. They're real. But, you can't spend too much time in that stuff. $5 super chat again from Cheesy. Cheesy. Sorry, bro. GZ. Barakallah fi. Jazakallah khair. Wayak. Red pill can turn into a dean for brothers. It's true. It can. I definitely Mahdi doesn't do it. Alhamdulillah, the brother has good content. He's about the only person I really watch his content when I get a chance to watch other people's content. But yes, it does turn into a dean for some brothers, similar to MGTOW. Yeah, MGTOW. Allahu alam. I've talked about this. I think MGTOW's haram. But you'd have to take that to ulama. But this is my belief. There's things that contradicts Islam at its fundamental level. Yes, like MGTOW, because we are people who are supposed to get married and not just walk away from women. Nah, barakallahu fi, jazakallah khair. Run after money and she runs after you. Run after the woman and she takes your money and runs away from you. It's a very good principle to follow. There you go. Man, drop some science on you. How to communicate with the wali of a girl that I am considering his daughter as a second wife. Oh, how do you communicate that to him? just communicate it to him. Say, hey, akhi, I'm not a monogamous man. I have no intentions. Or if you're not married, just tell him. It's like, just be direct to him, because he's a man. He's not a woman. So you should be able to speak to him directly. Say, hey, look, it's not my intention to be monogamous, or, I'm currently married and I'm looking, marry your daughter's second wife. If you have any questions about my life, whatever else like this is one thing that I did, when I was going to get married, this is why I introduced my wife to the up and coming wife. So she can communication, see how things are going to be, to massage that. And then she's obviously going to communicate whatever she communicates with my wife to her wali, because that's her wali. So, but when it comes down to the wali himself, I just tell him that, directly how it is. I was like, hey, I'm not going to be monogamous. So, is this going to be an issue? I don't know what her position is on it, whatever else. Maybe we should check with her before we go any further, so nobody wastes any time. I can't say I'm going to marry tomorrow, or I'm married right now, if she's still interested, blah, 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 blah. You're talking with guys here, guy. This, you don't have to make this complicated. There's no game in that sense involved here. You're dealing with a dude, deal with them straight, shoot with them straight. Women, obviously, you got to take a different tactic and a route, but men, shoot with guys straight, man. Guys are easy. We're pretty straightforward. GS, Akhi, what books do you recommend to master the woman's psychology in game? Oh man, Allahu Akbar, this camera focus thing, I gotta get a new camera. That's a pretty long list. I think there's a reading list on my website, isn't there? Is that back up? I don't know if that's back up. I'll make a reading list and I'll just post it on the website. I'll post it on my website, recommended books. I'll put it under recommended reading. Let me talk to my webmaster and see how this goes. Let me see. Huh? I'll see what because it's a long list and it's not off the top of my head. Mashallah. Jawad, $5 super chat. Would you collab with Outstanding Personal Relationship? May Allah bless you. Outstanding Personal Relationship. I don't even know who that is. Like I said, Mafti Tajani is the only person that I really do that I watch his content. I don't have a pen here. I'll write it down. I'll try and remember it. Outstanding Personal Relationship. I'll look him up. I'll shoot him a message. If he's on Twitter, then I'll try and find him on Twitter. I'll definitely shoot him a message and see. I don't mind. I prefer to do like interviews and collabs, but some of the people who've been here for a long time know that, when I try and like get people on or whatever else, I've had good interviews with people who are social media people. And then sometimes you get trolls on, and it's just a waste of time. So but I prefer have guests on, man. It's more dynamic. It's more fun. It's like, it's interesting. So Jazakallah khair for the $5 super chat, and inshallah, I'll look into it. I'm always down to do a collaboration with somebody. Let me come back up here and try and find where we were. Also, the brother work on his porn addiction. So also work on slowing down the flap with it, because that takes away valuable energy away from you. Yeah, there's some research. There's this guy, Kellogg, the cereal guy, Kellogg. Kellogg wrote a book about this, and it was the foundation of his entire cereal, bland, dry, whatever else. And he talked about this type of energy, that actually J.D. Unwin talked about it also in his book, Sex and Culture. Oxford University Press is an excellent book. Inshallah, you guys should read it. But anyway, they both talked about the same thing, basically, which was that energy can only be applied one direction at a time. And those who are more sexually reserved have more energy for more, productive things in terms of like creating income, creating items, invention, whatever else, work, whatever else. But you can't like have like you can't have a balance in that sense. Either you have high sexual energy and low productivity, or you have high productivity and low sexual energy. And there is something to that. I truly believe there is something to it. I think an above average man can balance the two, potentially balance it. But again, those are exceptional men, and I don't think there's many of those, which is why they're called exceptional. So, yeah, J.D. Unwin, Sex and Culture, that's probably the best one. Kellogg, his writings, I'm not familiar with his, but J.D. Unwin's book is amazing. He talks about the collapses of society and how when a culture's sexual energy exceeds that of its productive energy, it's on its way to a collapse, a one-way collapse that is not reversible. And that book, And we're on that in the West. When you read this book, if you're not looking at the current West as it is right now, bro, I don't know what you're looking at. Dude Dezio 7. Salaam alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abdul Hamid here. Oh, barakallahu feek. Real name. Jazakallah khair. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam dropped red pill info over 1400 years ago, yet nevertheless deemed marriage as sunnah. I mean, when we look at it, red pill follows Islam 100%. I mean, the way that hypergamy is checked, the way that male desire for multiple women is checked, we see this because hypergamy is checked because women can't monkey branch, because women are not allowed to have multiple suitors. Even before she's married, she's not allowed to pursue multiple men or relationships or marriage, aka relationships. When I say relationships, I mean marriage with multiple men. She's not allowed to do that. So her hypergamy is checked in that sense. Islam, bam, checks it, puts it in its place, checked hypergamy. Men are only allowed to have 4 wives. When the Sahaba became Muslim, they were like the Mormons. They had like 20, 30, 14, 15 wives, and the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, he checked that male desire. He said, look, you can only have 4. That's it. You can divorce and you can take another one until you reach 4 again, but you can't have more than 4. You can't just go around here marrying 80 women. You can't do that, dudes. You got to stop. Male desire, just his insatiable desire, which is never ending. And guys, let me tell you something. Having 4 wives, that's not going to end your whole desire. It's not going to end it. I'm telling you. You're going to have 4, you're going to want a 5th, and you're not allowed to have it. And so you're just going to be sitting there like, why do I want 5? I've got 4. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just how Allah created us. But understand, that's it. That's our stopgap. There's no going past that fire door. You get 4, that's it. So that's been checked in men. I mean, Islam, 100%. It led red pill. It's not the other way around, you know? Their red pill truths are more coming from Islam than the other way around. So yeah, 100%, bro. You're absolutely right in that sense. You know, you look at like all the solutions that everybody talks about in the red pill world. Where do you find the answers? The solutions that they need are all in Islam. Women walk around hypersexualized, trying to get that hypergamy on. Cover you up. Put her in hijab, put her in niqab, put her in jabab. Boom. Solved. All that sexuality, take it off the market. Boom. Problem solved. Dudes with fap habits, all that type of stuff is going to end because he's not going to be out here looking at like just so much dang skin. Son comes out here for like a week. You know how crazy it is just trying to drive down the street. Brothers talk about lower your gaze. Yes, you lower your gaze. You don't look at them, but dang, you just driving. You going to drive with your eyes closed? They're on the sides of the roads. They're in the roads. They're everywhere. They're crossing the street. It's terrible. It's not nice. It's not nice. It's not nice. You know, and women like maybe it is to these guys, but to me, it's just like, yo, what are you doing? You know, I said this to this brother. I'm driving with this brother. He's an Arab brother. I'm like, you know, it's school time. And there's these young women and they're out there. I'm like, yo, what the heck is this, bro? I said, my daughter go out the house like this. I give her the atomic elbow, bro. I'd be like, where you think you're going? I give her it straight up. You can call Abuamerican. I wouldn't elbow her, but she definitely wouldn't go out the house like that. I'm like, what's wrong with you? It's just like there's something wrong in the society. And Islam solves all of these problems that we're looking at. But, you know, and this is why, alhamdulillah, so many people have accepted Islam recently. I mean, you find actually, when you look at the red pill circle, we have a very high conversion rate in terms of dudes coming red pill into becoming Muslim. You'd be surprised how many dudes actually converted to Islam. It's quite a few dudes. We have a very good conversion circle here in the red pill world. Oh, mashallah, GZ with the $10 super chat. Barakallah feek. The modern dating world just reinforces the wisdom of the Sunnah. Absolutely. I was just talking about it just now, wasn't I? Women are not capable of choosing men. They often choose horribly and get used. The wali system works. Bro, I keep getting sent these TikToks, you know, and if you guys see any good TikToks, send it to me. I would put the guy on, but the guy was, you know, what do you call it? Skateboarding around bare chested. He's a black guy. He was dropping facts. So he showed a Swedish research coming into this. This all ties in together with what this brother's just saying right here. And he's 100% correct. So there's a Swedish research. I'm going to try and get this right, guys. And what they did was they interviewed women and men in terms of like regret in relationships. And so what they found is that men regretted not taking action and not pursuing women, and women regretted all the guys they slept with. And there was a higher level of regret for women in terms of quality and quantity. So women regretted sleeping with low quality guys, and they regretted sleeping with multiple men in a week, just random dudes. And so later on, as a follow-up to the study, they brought the women back and they said, okay, how did you fare? Now they assumed that the women would choose better. But you know what they did? They ended up performing worse. They said the women who slept with low quality guys ended up sleeping with even lower quality guys or the same guys they were already with. So they didn't improve, even though they realized through the initial study that they were sleeping with low quality guys. And they admitted that that's my biggest regret. And the women who slept with multiple dudes in 1 week and regretted it, they ended up sleeping with even more men. And so this goes back to what I was saying. And women got mad at me for saying it. Women are really good at making bad decisions. And our brother here, GZ, just dropped it. He just dropped it again. You can look on my YouTube here, and I wrote it in there. It's in the comments. It's a post. It's not a video. And I said, women are very good at making bad decisions. And I wrote that before I saw the video. I saw the video today. And then GZ dropped this today. So, I mean, this was like two weeks ago I dropped that post. 100% right, bro. 100% correct. Women need guardians. They need to be protected from themselves. They don't need to be protected from the world. That's our job. We protect them from the world. They need protection from themselves. But they ain't ready for that conversation. Sisters ain't ready for that conversation. Go ahead and try to have that conversation with sisters and watch what happens. They are gonna, you'll pull out the firing squad. Watch. Sisters that watch this post, they're gonna come for me in the comment section. Wait and watch. Let me come back up here. TRP Muslim, we need to make a distinction between the red pill and the manosphere. Red pill equals praxology. Red pill plus manosphere equals ideology movement. That's a very good point, man. You make a very good point right there, bro. TRP. Allahu Akbar. Stay focused. There we go. TRP Muslim. Yeah, that's a very good point, man. You know, you make a good point. I have to think about this one. I think you're onto something there, bro. I really do. That's a very good point, man. MashaAllah, barakallahu fi. Jazakallah khair. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am starting my career job in 6 months. Do you recommend that I should wait until I start a job before looking for a wife, or shall I start the process now? I mean, the sunnah is to get married as soon as possible. You can afford it, you can get married now. That's the sunnah. But I mean, we have taken on, in a sense, this ideology of the non-Muslim that you need to build before you marry. But the sunnah is actually the opposite, to get married as early as possible. You know, but if you think your wife is good, well, no, there is no think. You got to be on your mission, homie. If you're going to get married right now, be on your mission and don't let yourself get distracted. Let me tell you something. Nothing distracts a man like a woman. Nothing. You know, especially when she's, you know, she's hot. You get yourself beautiful. You know, we should stop using this term hot, because hot actually has is synonymous. I didn't know this, but a hot woman is a woman that sleeps with other men. She's an attractive woman. She's a very attractive woman. We're going to stop using that term, because look it up online. Hot actually is associated with a woman that sleeps with other men other than her husband. I don't know where we picked that up at. So anyway, you have a very attractive sister, and she's going to want your attention if you're that guy. Inshallah, you are. And so in getting your attention, she's going to do things in the house, dress a certain way, whatever else to get your attention. She's going to, you know, act goofy, do goofy, you know, be hypersexualized, which is perfectly fine in the house. But if you're not focused, man, that'll pull you off your mission more quicker than anything else, you know. And then you start throwing kids in the mix. You're gonna have to take time with kids, you know. And I say it all the time: more women means less time and less money, you know. And that's not negative; it's just a reality. I'm not saying don't go into it because of those things. Go into it, but just understand it, you know, so that you can be extra focused. Because wives, they take time. They need time. They deserve, you know, it's their right, you know. And so if you want to have a lasting relationship, you're going to have to focus and make sure and pay attention, you know, not just sit there, stare, focus attention, but you have to pay attention to her emotional state, her emotional condition. So you don't end up being a firefighter, putting out her emotional fires, you know, and then you're just running back and forth to this. And this is how she gets your attention and you know, and you end up catering to her and her needs all the time instead of the other way around. So just make sure you're ready for it if you go into it. And then you pop a kid in the mix, you're going to have to raise that kid. It is child rearing. It's not just, you know, child having, you know, and so you're going to have to take time to actually, you know, knuckle down and do the work to actually make sure it turns out to be a stable, balanced person. If you're ready for that, man, go for it, bro. But you should be ready for it, you know. Put yourself, that's part of being high value, high quality. You can handle whatever comes your way. Inshallah, you can handle it. Abuamerican said the queen bee disciplines the other wife. I found Ibn Jawzi say something similar in his book Disciplining the Soul, making it more credible. I can give you the page PDF. Yes, absolutely. Please, Barakallah Fik. I don't know if you're on Twitter. Send it to me on Twitter. I actually have that book, but I left it in Qatar. I'll order it again, actually. I think Spub sells it. I think they do. I'm going to order it again, inshallah. Barakallah Fik, man. Yeah, I'd appreciate that, bro. Barakallah Fik. Most people say you should go for a divorce/widow as a second and so on wife. I find that weird. I am more inclined towards taking single girls as wives. How do you deal with the resistance about it? I don't understand the question, to be honest. I mean, resistance about what? Resistance from who? Or resistance about what? I mean, okay, resistance about being another wife, but I don't understand, like, who's going to resist? I mean, all women are generally going to resist, like, being a second wife. Even if she's ready to accept being a second wife, she's going to resist this out of principle in the attempt to be the only wife. Like, if I can get away with this, I'll be a second wife, but let me try and be the only wife. She's going to try, just in the same way you're like, a lot of guys are out there, they're like, I'll take a second wife. I'll be monogamous, but if I can get a second wife, I'll take one. In the same way that guys operate. You got to remember, they're just coming from the opposite spectrum of us. But what we want is your frame to be the predominant one and the primary one that she folds to. You don't want to fold to hers. So, I mean, resistance is normal. So, but just expect it. In the same way that, like I said, some guys are monogamous and they say if they can get away with polygamy, they'll take it. Women will be like, maybe I'm open for polygyny, but if I could be the only wife, I'm going to take it. So expect resistance. I wouldn't expect otherwise, Inshallah, that answers your question. Coming down here too, Dude Desi 07, $10 super check. Barakallahu Fik. Barakallahu Fik. Jazakallahu khair. Would you honestly recommend a brother get married who is unemployed, living with his parents? No, I can just answer that no right now. And I'm not mentally comfortable in bringing a wife to a home that's already chaotic. No, I wouldn't advise this, bro. If you're unemployed, I know there's some cultures. I do believe, like in the Desi culture, in the Southeast Asian culture, that it's normal for, like, and even in some of the Arab world, that it's normal for the wife to come in and live with the newlywed husband, with the parents and everything like this. I understand that's pretty common, but I would say don't skip the employment part, because at the end of the day, you still need to take care of your wife. It's your wife, so be able to take care of her. What if you want to do something nice with her? Go with her on vacation or something, take her somewhere. You don't have a car, you don't have money, to maybe, book a trip or whatever else. Okay, we got this bear bug virus going around. Saying that you can't travel with us, but because of that, you get in your car and you take her somewhere, go somewhere nice. You can't do that if you're unemployed. You just can't do nice things for your wife every once in a while if you're unemployed. It just limits your life in general. Just in general, you don't want to be employed. Inshallah, whether self-employed or not, I don't care. I mean, if you work for yourself, if you're a trader, maybe or something like this, knock it out. But don't bring a woman into a situation where, yes, you can bring a woman into a situation where you're building, but where you're literally like on the foundations of establishing yourself to the point that don't even have employment. I wouldn't bring someone else into that personally, because then you have to also remember, let's say you do it. Everything's working fine. Let's say it's working out fine. You're unemployed. You got a wife. It's going well. Miraculously. Barakallahu fi. Alhamdulillah. You say, alhamdulillah, it's going well. Now you bring a child into it because you're going to sleep with your wife, right? Obviously. So she gets pregnant. Dun, dun, dun. Your parents going to pay for the diapers? Allahu Akbar. Your parents going to pay for the baby food? Who's going to do this? It's going to make you look just like a total, I think the British would say a mug. It's going to make you look like a total mug. And you'll actually be one. You'll be the clown show. You'll be the entire circus. You'll be the clowns, the monkeys. You'll be the elephant on the ball. You'll be everything, bro. And rightfully so. So I would say if you're unemployed and this type of stuff, don't get married, wait till you get at least gainful employment, some good employment where you can afford like 3 people. Even though when you get married, it's going to be 2. The third person is the child. Always plan ahead. So you get married, you're planning for 3 people, you, your wife, and the child. It might take 2-3 years for that third person to show up. But if you calculate that in right off the start, you're always going to have excess. If you don't, boom, then you know what's up. Now, when the child comes, plan for 4 people. I got to up my game. I got to up my skills so I can get a promotion. I got to get an online income because the 4th person's going to be here. Because now your wife's pregnant with the kid. Inshallah, the child is born healthy. Inshallah. Now you got to plan for 4 people because she's going to drop the kid. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to want Baby, it's been 40 days. That baby drive has been long. That's baby, it's been 40 days. Baby, it's 40 days. You know what's gonna happen? Person number 4. So if you're unemployed, you're way behind the curve. You can't even go with planning for 2 people, let alone 3, because you're unemployed. You see what I'm saying? So now he's like, hey, Dad, I'm trying to get married. I'm unemployed. I need you to plan for 3 people. All right, Pops. Thanks for holding down the fort. You see what I'm saying? Get married first. I mean, excuse me. Get employed first, inshallah. Even if it's just enough, and you really need to get married, make sure you do that first. Barakallahu feek, dude, Desi. Another $10 super chat. Jazakallah khair. Currently, I work in retail despite having a college degree. So please do keep me in your du'as, bro, so I can provide better income. I mean, inshallah, I hope for you, bro. I really do. I really want to be massively financially stable before marriage. You got a skill, bro. If you're working in retail and you're dealing with people, I mean, retail is customers, right? You're in customer service. Man, you're already working on marketing skills. Work on selling people stuff. Go up to people. I worked in retail like a really short time. I just wasn't my thing. But I used to always approach people. They was looking at something. I'm like, oh, that's really nice. I think if you guys got this and actually brown, it would more suit your color or your hairstyle or this or your hair color. I just go up and start doing stuff. I wasn't thinking that I was going to be a marketer later on. It's just, I just wanted to get used to talking to people because I was really like, believe it or not, I was kind of introverted as a kid. I was kind of a nerd, actually. I was kind of like an athletic nerd, that could fight. It's really weird. Yeah, I was a nerd that could fight and did sports. So I was a jock, a nerd, and a fighter at the same time. But it like made me an awkward person because I didn't fit in anywhere. I didn't fit in with the athletes. I didn't fit in with the fighters, and I didn't fit in socially with anybody. And so at work, I used to approach people. Then I started working for a rental car company, and that really got me like talking to people and whatever else because there were adults and not teenagers in my age group. And so I used to clean the cars, and then when the people bring them in, I have conversations with them, strike up conversations, use that to like build a marketing skill. Because marketing, man, people who sell stuff, they make a lot of money. I'm in that stupid corner on Twitter where guys they are successful from marketing. So if you can market, bro, you can do it. And retail is a good place because then you learn people are there to buy. So how do you make them close the deal? People who aren't there to buy, once you learn how to make people who buy or who are there to buy close the deal, find out how to make people who aren't there to buy anything close the deal. Because sometimes I go to a store, I have no intention of buying something, and someone just comes along and like pops something to me. I'm like, oh. Like, dude, you just did such a good job. I'm just gonna go ahead and spend this €50, man. You know what? You just did such a good job, bro. Man, let's do this. Sometimes you find people like that. Sometimes people sell me something. I'm like, man, I didn't know that. That's that thing I always needed. I didn't know I needed. Now it's on a shelf over there for like 6 months. Oh yeah, I actually didn't need it. But his sales skills were so good, I ain't even mad about it. You're in a good position to do that, bro. So I give it a try, inshallah. Oh, inshallah. Let me come back down here. MashaAllah, barakallah feek, Desi. MashaAllah, jazakallah khair, bro. In retail, I have countless male and female customers. It's amazing. Even customer relations, you can see differences in human behavior between men and women, bro. This is why I stand on my woman's neck when she goes shopping. No lie. If she was up here, she's outside screaming at the kids or something like this. They out there going crazy. I'm like on this woman's neck. She's like walking around the store. Like I'll be like right up behind her like this, like because I know there's a difference between how men and women shop, and it is significant. I mean, you work in retail, so you should know the statistics for female spending. 80% of all domestic spending globally is by women, but they make up for something like 20% of global income production. Note the difference. That means they're spending their man's money. Do you send your children to German schools? I think homeschooling is not allowed in Germany. Yes, homeschooling is illegal in Germany. It was like slightly legal for a little while with the whole virus thing going on. But yes, we do send them to German school, and it is illegal. It is illegal to homeschool here. They will throw you in jail and take your kids from you. Let me come down here. Why yak to the people who have said Jazakallah khair? Sorry, just going through the questions here, guys. Will one wife suffice your desires if you are an average male who will most likely not reach enough status to get into a polygamous marriage? I mean, some guys, bro, there is a difference between guys. I've noticed that some guys, they seem sincere when they say they only want one wife. I can only take it that they're not lying to me. I tend to believe they're lying to me because I don't know too many guys that only want one wife. But there's some guys that seem perfectly happy with it. I'm happy with my wife. If I had one wife, I'm happy, but I do want another wife. But if she was the only wife, whatever, okay, fine. I'm fine. But I do want another wife. There's some guys, they just don't have that. I want another wife. Or maybe they just have, like you said, they're not in a status, in a position to where they're ever going to be able to take another wife. And so they just accepted their lot and said, you know what, this is not going to happen for me. So let me just go ahead and focus on something else. But I can focus on multiple things. And my wife will tell you, she said it before, I'm at my best when I have multiple women because I have to perform. I can't slack off. I can't let off the gas pedal because now I got multiple people, especially women, because they got them eagle eyes on you, watching your every move. I have to be on my best. Now I know that sounds like a contradiction. You don't do stuff for women, but it's just, I don't know. I just need that outside pressure to perform. I need that outside pressure to be the best me. I even do it at work. I'll pair myself with the best team, knowing that I'm not part of that best team, meaning that I'm like subpar in terms of the team, because especially me now in a new career field, I want the best team. And so now I'm the team, I'm the team guy that everybody's dragging. So I'm like, the work that I have to do to catch up and not be a drag on the team is extra hard. I have to put myself in that position. When I go boxing, what do? I fight with the pros. I fight with the amateurs and the pros. That's who I spar with. Why? Because what am I going to do fighting a guy like the same as me? I'm not going to get better. And then after a month of fighting those guys, or everybody else is scared of getting knocked around the ring, next thing you know, those guys can't knock me around the ring. Next thing you know, I'm knocking those guys around, the regular guys that I used to be with. So the same thing is with me and multiple women. I just have to have that in my life because it just makes me better. Jiu-jitsu is the same thing. I didn't roll with the white belts when I was white belt. I rolled with the purple belts. I didn't want to roll with the blue belts. You're too close to me. Give me the purple belts. Give me the brown belts. Same thing. So, some guys, that works for them. But for me, I need that push. Inshallah. That's me. Sorry, I'm just going back over here. I lost my spot. This thing jumped around. Ooh. Oh, mashallah, barakallah feet. A lot of comments going on here. Yes, this cruise. Hi, Cal Reese. You said it right. And there's actually a hadith that supports this, where the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, said, I'm going to paraphrase the hadith, where he said, if man, or if the sons of Adam had a valley of gold, he would wish he had another valley of gold just like it. Nothing will fill his desire for more except dust. Dust in this case was translated to mean death. Nothing will stop his desire for more except death. This is absolute fact. I firmly believe this. A woman without instruction is headed for self-destruction. This is absolute fact. I believe this. Do you advise you want to use S there instead of C? One is the verb, one is the noun. To protect your relative, daughters, sisters, etc., who are teenagers from bad male attention? Absolutely. I dare say it's obligatory. I think maybe it's obligatory for you to do this. If it's your women folk, I don't see why it wouldn't be an obligation for you to do this. Absolutely do it. Because if you don't do it, who is? Who's going to do it for you? Who's going to do it for them? You're going to just let them. It's like, let's say you live in Florida. Crocodiles there. You see the crocodile at the edge of the water. The crocodile is going to eat a kid if the kid wants to go in the water. Kids love water. So what the kid's going to do, the kid's going to run towards the water. The kid's not going to understand crocodile danger. We got cartoons showing them that crocodiles want to play, and make them cakes and all this type of stuff. But the kid's like, oh, it's my crocodile buddy from TV. Do you protect the kid? Obviously, women are the same way. Male attention is like crack to them. Male attention to women is like water to kids. And kids can drown in water. Kids can get eaten by crocodiles in water, sharks, whatever else, all the dangers that are associated with waters. But right now we're looking at waters with crocodiles and sharks in it. Women are the same way. So they need protection in the same way children need protection from themselves, because they can't see the dangers in the same way that we see the dangers. They just see fun. They just see, whoo, look, this is going to be great. Yeah, okay. The crocodile's waiting there with the mouth open. Protect them, absolutely. It's your duty. Jawad. Outstanding personal relationship is about a brother practicing polygyny. His name is Coach Nazir. He's in America. Okay. Inshallah, I'll check him out, bro. I didn't know this. I don't. I think. Wait a minute. Wait. Yeah, this is an African American brother, right? He's an African American brother. Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Hold on. Let me check him out. I do believe that is the African American brother. Outstanding personal relationships. Yep. I know who you're talking about. Unfortunately, he hates me. I was in a polygyny group with him, and I think he and I were probably one of the few people in there, or the few peoples that were actually practicing polygyny in there. And some brother started attacking me, and he's like, oh, this is like, you sound like a Salafi. And I was like, yeah, I'm a Salafi. And then that brother, outstanding personal relationships, just lost this. He lost his crap. He hates Salafis with the dying, burning, absolute passion. I never said a word to the brother in my life, never talked to him before. He just started attacking me like crazy. He just started like just attacking me. I was like, hey, bro, man, like, can we stick to the topic here? We're talking about the topic of polygyny, and this brother and I were disagreeing. Now you want to come at me about Salafia, and he's just going crazy about Salafia. And the conversation was never about Salafia. It was only about like, and I was just giving proofs and evidences as I found them from the book and the Sunnah. And then some of my personal experiences, and the brother just went off. He just went crazy. He left a very, very, very bad experience, in terms of like what I saw from his personality after that conversation, as a person who never spoke to him, and the way he attacked me as a person who he never spoke to before that, and I never spoke to him, and I was trying to be cordial with the people. This is a Facebook group that we were in at the time. I don't use Facebook anymore. I found it very negative, and I was like, I really don't want to talk to this guy. Yeah, okay, now I know who you're talking about. No, bro, I don't have anything. Well, no, I do have that against him, the way he came at me. But other than that, I don't really have anything to do with the guy. If he wanted to be cool, I could be cool. But I can't be cool with people who just hate me because I'm Salafi and he doesn't know anything about me. He don't even know my name. I found that very disturbing from his personality and his behavior, especially as a guy, has multiple wives. Maybe he has a good relationship with his wives, but the way he approached me in that conversation that I was having with somebody else, I just found that very odd. Maybe that was a close personal friend of his, and he felt like, he needed to defend his friend. I don't know what the case was, but the way he came at me was like, kind of like, wow. I was like, yo, bro, really? It's like, what's going on here, man? Did I run your dog over when you were 6 or something? What happened, bro? It was really I found it jarring the way he came at me. It was just very like surprising, the aggressiveness that he came at me with, and the hostility. I was just like, I have no idea where it came from, bro. So I don't think he'd be open to doing anything with me. Now I remember. Yeah. I don't think he'd be open to it. Oh, we're up on an hour already, man. Barakallahu Fik. I didn't even get to like a lot of these questions. Jazakallah khair. I'll answer a few more questions, and then we're gonna have to close out the show, guys. I'm gonna try and be on every Monday. I apologize yesterday, guys. I ended up doing overtime. We had like a site not closed down, but we had a site handover because I'm doing construction and all this type of stuff. And I'm working on project management and all this stuff. So we had a site handover, and everything had to be closed out by the end of the day. I ended up doing overtime till almost showtime. And by the time I was done, I was so tired because I actually had to get like down and dirty to make sure the site got closed down. So I just didn't get a chance to go live. I don't think this is going to happen regularly. That was just a one-off thing that we actually did handover on, like, that Monday. It was the weirdest thing. And then Tuesday, something happened, and I was just like, you know what, I can't do it. So I ended up today. So inshallah, Mondays, I don't think we're going to be doing Monday handoffs. We usually do Friday handoffs, but I'm going to schedule the show for every Monday, inshallah. And I'm going to try and bring back Blockchain Bros also. And I might be doing a show regularly with a sister out of the United States. There's a sister in the US. She's interested in polygyny. She's, she works in media and entertainment. She's open to polygyny. She's going to talk about her experiences. We're going to talk about the male and female side of type of stuff. Yeah, I'm actually going to close this out now, guys. I apologize if I didn't get to your questions. The fastest way to get questions answered is obviously a super chat. I'll give those priorities over everything else, and then channel members after that. But alhamdulillah, a lot of brothers came through on a super chats today. Barakallahu feekum to you guys. So I'm going to try and get that show regularly with this sister on top of the show with Mahdi, inshallah, weekly. We will be on my channel this Thursday, inshallah. But I'm going to try and put in some more work, get back here on the live show and everything else while trying to, work on some projects that me and the brother are working on. I don't know if I want to mention that here. No, I'll wait, inshallah. But working on some projects with some brothers that inshallah we're going to launch for you guys, and barakallahu feek for tuning in. Jazakallah khair. Going to go out here and grab the family. And it's coming up on Maghrib anyway, so I got to close this out. Jazakallah khair, barakallahu feekum to all the brothers who dropped super chats. You guys are MVPs. Barakallahu feek for everybody who tuned in. We'll see you on Thursday on this channel with Mahdi, inshallah. I'm going to leave the chat open. I know I said I was going to close it. We're going to leave it open, man. We're just going to show you brothers love, man. The trolls seem to have gone away. I actually heard that they're on TikTok now, the trolls. So, inshallah, thanks for tuning in, bros. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Inshallah, we see you, brothers, soon.